Now, while calling the server, many things can go wrong. Perhaps our network connection is going to drop out, or the server is going to go offline, and so on. As a good developer, we should anticipate such problems and handle errors properly. In JavaScript, all promises have a method called catch that we can use for catching errors. So right after we call then, we call the catch method. Now it's nicer to put this on a new line. This way our code is better formatted. So we call the catch method and give it a callback function. This function will get executed if something goes wrong while fetching the data. Now this function should take an error object. And for now, let's just log the error on the console. Now to simulate an error, I'm going to put an X here. So we have an invalid endpoint. Now back to the browser. Look, we got an Axios error object. And in this object, we have properties like code, which is set to bad request, as well as config, message, name, request, and response. So now let's take this application to the next level. And instead of showing a blank screen, let's show an error message. First, we need to use the state hook to declare a state variable for our error. I'm going to initialize this to an empty string and call it error. Okay. Next, instead of logging the error on the console, we call set error and pass error.message. And finally, right above our UL, we render a paragraph with the class of text-danger. Here we render the error. Now, because we have multiple elements, we should wrap them inside a fragment. Good. Now, we want to render the paragraph dynamically only if we have an error. So error end. Good. Now, look, we get an error message saying request failed with status code 404.